video, I'll be giving you some tips and tricks basically on positioning, latching, maintaining a good milk supply, as well as some common problems that people usually face while breastfeeding. Hey lovelies, I welcome you guys once more to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for clicking on this video, and if you're a returning subscriber, you know I do love you. So today we'll be talking about breastfeeding. We all know that breastfeeding is an amazing way of nourishing and bonding with your baby. Like, who doesn't love breastfeeding? I actually do, because it's one of the ways I get to like bond very well with my baby. And sometimes while you're breastfeeding, you tend to like get these beautiful smiles, reactions from their faces, and it's just oh. Okay, so today we'll be talking about breastfeeding and some of its challenges. As a Nigerian mom, there are some practical tips and techniques that could actually help you to have a beautiful breastfeeding experience. First thing you need to know as a first time mom, or as a mom who is having issues with breastfeeding, is that you need to look for a good position, not just a good position, a comfortable one at that, because there are sometimes that mothers have complained that they are usually having back pains or waist pains while breastfeeding, especially first time moms. So you need to find a comfortable position for your baby and for yourself. You could try the football hold, the cradle hold, and also you could also try the sideline position. You could as well use a pillow or a cushion to aid yourself while breastfeeding. These are things that we can actually use from the get from the comfort of our homes. Some people go as well as out of their way to get breastfeeding pillows, anything that you can use to aid yourself, whether a pillow, a cushion, or you can as well use a wrapper. Maybe fold different amounts of wrappers together, and then it will aid you while breastfeeding. The second thing I want you to observe while breastfeeding is to ensure a good latch. A good latch is actually crucial for breastfeeding because it enables your babies to effectively have full amount of breast milk while breastfeeding. Now, when you're breastfeeding your baby, you need to make sure that your baby's mouth is wide open, like it is open, spread out, and not tucked in. You know, sometimes when you're feeding, your nipples are not fully into your baby's mouth. So you should make sure that your baby's mouth are spread out, wide open, to take a very good part of your nipple. How do you ensure a good latch? You need to bring your baby, when you're breastfeeding, you need to bring your baby closer to your breast and make sure that their chin here is touching your breast. Once their chin here is touching the breast, it is a good spot for them to open their mouths and then feed on the breast milk. Most times you might be thinking that your baby is feeding on your breast milk, whereas it's not. Now, the next thing I want to be talking about is for you to observe breastfeeding cues, like clues. When you see signs that your baby is hungry, you should feed your baby at that instant. When you notice that your baby is actually in need of breast milk or in need of food, that is the time to actually feed your baby. Some persons, they usually follow a schedule for themselves when to feed their baby. You shouldn't be doing that at this stage, especially if you're a new mom, like a first timer. You shouldn't be doing that for now. So whenever you're seeing clues that your baby is hungry, either they are yawning, or they are opening their hands and closing it, or they are just swinging their hands in motions, or their legs, they are raising it up while they are lying down, you should just watch out for these signs and know that actually this is the time for me to feed my baby. So do not follow schedules at this point, because babies need to be fed effectively for them to have good growth and healthy bodies. The next thing I want to talk about is to establish a good milk supply. In order for you to establish a healthy supply for your baby, you need to feed frequently, especially in the first few weeks of your baby's life. You need to make sure that you're feeding your baby adequately these first few weeks. You should be able to feed your babies at least 8 to 12 times in 24 hours in these first few weeks, because this is the only thing that they might be eating and they don't have anything, so they might be taking it little by little, and for them to be effectively fed, or for breast milk to be high in supply for them, they need to be fed at almost 8 to 12 times, in fact more than 8 to 12 times if possible. Also, in these first few weeks, you should make sure that breast milk is has been fully established before you introduce feeding bottles or pacifiers. If they are not fully established with breastfeeding, then don't go ahead to feeding them with bottles or with pacifiers. The next thing I also want to talk about is to take care of yourself. As a new mom, as a first time mom, this is very, very important, because if you're not healthy, your baby will not be healthy. You need to take proper care of yourself. You need to ensure that you rest whenever you're tired. In fact, you should rest at all times. You should give yourself good foods, take in fruits and vegetables always while you're taking other foods. And you should also ensure that you're not stressed out, because when you're not taking proper care of yourself, you're breastfeeding your child, and that is also draining out nutrients and strength from you. So in order for you to have an effective breastfeeding, you need to be able to take care of yourself, proper care of yourself, by taking the right nutrients, the right foods, and the right foods. Another thing is to join support groups, seek for help, seek for solutions. If you're having any difficulty, or if you're having any issues around you, you should be able to go to your midwife, or you should go to an elderly person, or any person whom you know is capable or suitable to give you a good advice. You should go to that person and request for assistance if the need arises. Let's move over to the problems that people usually encounter during breastfeeding. The first problem I have here is engorgement. This is a process whereby the breast is so full, and you just want to reduce the fullness of the breast. Ways you can handle this is to constantly breastfeed your child, constantly. At those first few weeks, your body is going to be pumping in more breast milk. If you are in a situation whereby your child is not hungry and you are having constant fullness of your breast, what you just need to do is to either take a warm towel or a warm cloth, and then use it to massage the parts on the surface of your breast, so that it will reduce the milk just little by little. Another way you can do this is to either use your hands to softly or gently press out the breast milk. Another problem that mothers usually encounter, especially first time moms, is sore nipples. Soreness of the nipples is as a result of your child not latching properly. So for you to be able to curb this problem is for you to make sure that your child is latching properly. Now, another problems that mothers usually encounter is low milk supply. This is usually a daily occurrence, because some moms after giving birth, they notice that they are not lactating, like breast milk is not coming out from their breast, and they tend to like look for solutions to it. So if you're a new mom and you are experiencing that your breast is not fully bringing out the milk that is supposed to bring out, you should make sure you feed your child constantly. Like feeding your child helps in stimulating breast milk. It helps to pump out breast milk from your body. So make sure you feed frequently. And also, there are some other things here in Nigeria that they usually give. Some things that people take and then they will just easily lactate. Like me, while I was a new mom, while I initially just gave birth, I do take palm wine and I do take fufu. Yes, these are the two things I took then, and I was able to lactate frequently, like fully. Lastly, one of the common problems that mothers usually face is known as mastitis. Now, mastitis is an infection that happens to the breast, and as a result, it will end up bringing out pain, it will end up bringing out swelling, and it will also bring out some fluids. You'll be seeing some fluids coming out from your breast. How to handle this mastitis is to involve a specialist, like meet a doctor if you are infected. But some common ways that you can actually help is through antibiotics, or through rest, or through constant feeding of your baby. Like I said, most of the issues that people usually face concerning breastfeeding is to constantly feed your child. When you constantly feed them, you won't be having too much issues. Now, one thing I would love for you to understand is that breastfeeding comes in different shapes and sizes, and it's not really the same for everybody. The way it happens to person A is actually different from how it will happen to person B. So I will advise you, as a first time mom, you should be able to be patient with yourself and with your baby. Over time, you get to understand how you can come up with a good and comfortable way of breastfeeding your child. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying tuned. I hope this helps someone out there. Till we see some other time. Bye bye.